Okay, guys, I think I found out what is the problem with our current project. I try a lot of different ways to connect all these holes we are using. I've tried different wires. I've tried even nails to put there and try to strengthen the connection, but I fail in all of them. And then I'm starting to think that maybe I was starting to think that maybe that wasn't a connection problem, but a hardware problem, or a hardware problem that we can solve with software. So I've been looking around trying to figure out what these holes are. Okay, I told you the other day that the one the one I'm tipping, this one. Okay, this one I'm choosing. This is the 5 volts. Okay, and this one here is the ground. So in all this is the TKD3. Okay, so this is 5 volts. This is 5 volts of TKD4, and this is 5 volt of TKD5. So the same, this is the ground, also this is the ground, and also this is the ground in every case, TDK3, 4, and 5. So I was trying to figure out what is this hole here, if that hole is an analog input, in analog input output, in this case input, because this is going to get our trigger, and the trigger has to be, as you can see here, the trigger has to be like a wave signal, like like a square signal that is going to keep during 10 microseconds, and then we are going to have a zero signal. So I was trying to look what is this hole here, if it's an analog signal or maybe a digital one. So you can see here, this is the TKD3. Okay, this is the TKD3 hole here, and it says this is the Arduino Leonardo is the chip that our robot has in every one of the levels, in the control and in the motor. Okay, we have two Arduino Leonardos, and in our robot's control we have that the TKD3 is an analog input. So I was trying, sorry, an analog output, because we have to emit one signal, so it's an analog output. So I try to configure, to set up the robot to use, instead of an analog output, a digital output. Okay, and in this case I'm trying to even use a PWM output, a pulse width modulation output. So I was looking for one of these, and then I found out here in the TKD5, this is going to be a digital output. Okay, and that's the one I'm using now. So in this case, okay, no, sorry, okay, yeah, I'm going to use this TDK5. I'm going to use it for the echo input, okay, as a digital, as a regular digital one, okay. And I'm going to use here, and in the TKD4, that was the one that we were using for the echo. Now I'm going to use it for the trigger, and this is a digital one, but also this thing here shows us that this is a PWM signal, okay. So we are going now to configure the software for us to work with this setup. So I'm going to show you now the software. So this is the software here, okay? And I'm configure the trigger pin into the TK4. You have to change this into your code, okay? The trigger pin now is going to be the TKD4. Okay, I'm going to show you here what is the TKD4. The TKD4 is this row here. So you have to connect now the trigger into this hole in the middle, okay? And now we are going to use the echo pin here, okay? The echo pin here is going to be configured in the TKD5, okay? So we have to connect our echo wire into this hole here in the middle, okay? Remember, this is 5 volts ground. We are using this 5 volt, this ground, for example. You can use whatever, but maybe to make a, a more clear setup in our robot, we are going to use 5 volts ground, and then here the trigger pin, and then here in the TKD5 here, we are going to use the echo, okay? This is going to be the echo. So I tried this thing in the robot I brought home, and it's working perfectly. Even if I move the robot, even if it's flying, even if I do whatever I want to do, it's working perfectly. So I'm going to show you right away that with this setup you can work perfectly in your Arduino robot. Okay? Okay, so now you can see there that is working properly. I'm putting my hand and it's changing, okay, the measure. As you can see here, I'm doing the distance bigger and it's working. I clear the screen, okay? So if you want to clear the screen, you have to use this. I'm going to show you. You have to use this here, this function robot dot clear screen, okay? And you clear the screen. So now, for example, if you want this distance, the distance between lines to be bigger, you have to make this I here bigger. I'm setting here a condition when I, for example, I'm getting into the middle of the screen, I remove everything, I clear everything. So now it's working perfectly, and you can see here that if I move, I'm moving now the robot, and I'm doing a lot of crazy things. Okay, it's flying even, and it's still working. So it doesn't happen what it was happening before, that the connection was tricking us. So as you can see here, okay, I set the wires as I told you. This one here is the trigger, okay? So the trigger is in the TKD5, and this blue one here is in the TKD4, is the echo, okay? So here I have my power supply, 5 volts, and here I have my ground. And it's working perfectly without doing anything strange, because I started even to use these nails to connect with the wires. I did a lot of different things to try the wires without the stereo part, the stereo body. So using different sensor, doing a lot of things. But I told you, at the end, I realized that it wasn't a connection problem, but maybe a hardware problem, or maybe a hardware problem that I can solve with software. So now you don't have any, I hope you don't have any doubt to start your projects, the project I told you to do, okay? And I hope you will not have any trouble, any problems using the connections to make your robots perform the tasks I told you to do. So enjoy and produce a good work for you to have a very good evaluation. As you can see, it's even working in great distances. So now I'm trying, well, I'm not going to show you my my home. So now I'm trying different distances, okay, as you can see here, and it's working perfectly, okay, very smoothly. So let's go into work, guys.